let you think again, what is this? Is this real? Is this, did the photographer actually artificially remove the color around these twigs and then just highlight it? You know, a lot of photographers, when you first start out to do photography, you like to decolorize some part of the picture. But this photographer didn't do that because I saw this place. It's almost bare except for a few green foliage, you know, a little bit. So this photographer managed to find what is the highlight of that place. So you don't have to use a lot of Photoshop techniques to achieve what you want. Simple flower shot. See? This one, notice the sun is in the background and it's sort of misty in the morning. So the backlighting wasn't that strong enough to cause too much flare. But there's interesting shadow in the foreground caused by the backlighting. A lot more macro shots that I think there was one Vietnamese girl, Fong, who likes a lot to play with a macro. She brought a macro lens and she was playing a lot with that. And we had a lot of sea along our way because we travel along the southern coast of New Zealand, so we just go around the coastal area a fair bit. You know, even at the same place, some choose to just focus on the massive water, you know, and sort of a warm afterglow of the setting sun, you know, using a tripod, getting a slow shutter speed to have a little bit of movement. But other people just choose to use the foreground, the grass itself, and then a bit of a rock in the distance, and getting a very interesting alternative shot as it's the same place, you know. Another photographer chose to use human in this whole thing. And one thing to note, when you guys shoot sunset, sometimes you like to include the whole sun. But if you include the whole sun, there could be a possibility of highlight being burned out. You know, so sometimes don't include the whole thing unless it's overcast. You know, and I'm sure you've seen the slideshow just now. There was this place that every tourist wants to go or had to go. It's called Lake Matheson. In the morning, it's really crystal clear and the water is very calm. There's a lot of mirror image. And just look at these few slides. I mean, they're taken by different photographers, but at the same place. You know, it's very interesting how you want to compose a subject or how you want to treat a subject. Do you want a very warm glow, or would you prefer a more muted, you know, tinted blue, a bit more monochromatic feel, or even totally just black and white? You know, the whole picture, the whole mood just changes. You know, the way how to include more and less change. And then this photographer chose to use the full color. So it's actually almost the same composition, you know, minus the lighting. This one, the sun didn't come in that strong. This one, the sun came in on the side. You can see a little bit of the side lighting on some of the foliage. So when you go on these trips, you don't just shoot blindly, you shoot a lot. I'm sure digital cameras are very affordable nowadays, and we like to fire a lot. One thing that I always find that we do is we spend a lot of time in front of the LCD, you know, looking at the camera, always checking, as if like, oh, I must make sure it's 100% correct. But certain times when I look at what the photographer was looking at, right, the composition is totally off, and yet the person can still continue to shoot. Okay, never mind, I just shoot. Our exposure looks good, can already. You know, but I would encourage everyone to be more technically profound, you know, to be sure of your equipment. To me, the camera itself, right, is just a tool. You know, today Canon has given a lot of R&D into the camera. It's a very efficient tool for us to actually deliver good pictures. So you should be confident of the tool, but develop your skill. If today you tell me that I need to change a new camera because my camera is not the best, then I say, can I give you a test on your camera? Can I understand, do you know all the function in your camera? A lot of these participants who went with us for this trip, they are all very skillful in changing lenses, buying new lenses, new gadgets. but they totally do not understand 100% what the camera can do. So when we go on this trip, we taught them what the camera can do, and they were quite amazed. Even a 400D or 350D can deliver pictures as good as the 5D. You know, so it's not a matter of just the equipment. Of course, a bigger sensor will give you more resolution, will allow you to do really good commercial work with your client, really quickly, very big blow up. But if you don't have a good sense of understanding of your weapon, I call my camera my weapon. This is how I create a living. This is how I take a picture. If you don't know the camera well, right, you have lost half the battle. So I hope whether you're joining us for this trip or whether it's in the future that you're doing any competition or any job, know your camera well. You know, totally know it well before you actually say that, oh, I think, you know, I need a better lens, I need a better something. Or no, like this camera is no good, it's lousy. Yeah. Because I've gone through the film days, a lot of y'all have gone through the film days whereby we don't have a preview button. The preview is here. The preview is using your eyes to see, to get what you want. Compose. I just came back from Laos for another photo clinic. A lot of participants were just shooting blindly, using the zoom lens, zoom in, zoom out, zoom in for the first day, as usual. On the second day, I told them, you're going to only use one fixed lens this whole morning. We're going to go to a waterfall. Choose your lens. Either you want a 50mm, you want an 85mm, you want a 105 macro, choose it. You're going to be with that for the entire half of the morning. So even for this trip, and when we said that, right, a lot of them was taken aback. They were unwilling to let go that kit lens that they brought with them. They say, what if I see something so interesting that I don't have the right lens to capture? How? Then I asked them, is it really that crucial that you have to use that particular lens? Can't you create a composition out of something that is not the typical one? If you go to a really nice waterfall, can you not just take the whole expanse of the waterfall? Can you just focus on one part of the waterfall if you have a macro lens, or even if you have a fixed 50mm lens? Or can you just take somebody that is against the waterfall, a silhouette figure, you know, or using a slow shutter speed? So I challenged them, and at the end of that day, everybody was very happy that they actually let go of that fear. And because they use a fixed lens, they managed to actually move in and move out a lot of composition, and they actually think before they actually shoot. Yeah, if you have a lens that allows you to always zoom in, zoom out, it's very convenient for you to lose the focus, what you want to shoot. I'm not saying that zoom lens is no good, I use a lot, but I'm encouraging you to actually think first. So when you have a fixed lens, you have no choice. A very old participant that joined me for the trip, she was 73 years old, an auntie. She had never used an SLR before. Her husband passed her the SLR, said, use. Then she said, cannot zoom, how? Then I told her, auntie, don't worry, you got legs, you can move up and down. So she moved up and down, and at the end of this, her composition was really, really good, and she was very happy. It was very simple. She said, you should have given me a fixed lens because I don't need to worry how to compose, how to zoom in, zoom out, because you can't do it. So I encourage you to think about your composition. Think about having fun. We had a lot of fun on the trip. Later we'll share. You know, you see a lot of roads along the way in New Zealand, a lot of very interesting line art. You know, whether you're using a wide angle. Okay, can I check? Everyone, you know, down here, you use a lot of equipment. Can you tell in the picture what type of lens was used? Are you able to identify straight away what type of lens has been used? Yes? This is 50mm. You don't know? Anybody want to make a guess what type of lens has been used?